Alright, so we're going to look at a couple teaching things. This is really designed for a instructor, not so much a new student, although if a new student's watching this, there's a lot of good things in here. Feel free to share this with your instructor. We're going to look at some of the things that I like to do when I'm teaching a new student to really address the basic airmanship, and then what leads into some of the stall training, how I like that stall training to look. So first off is rudder. And rudder's unused by most people. They don't really understand how the pedals work, and the big problem here is that a lot of instructors don't understand. So the way I like to teach this is by demonstrating what rudders do. So first thing is a adverse yaw demonstration. So we need to have this on the ground with the discussion, but once we get in the plane, I put my feet flat on the floor. I take the stick and we start adding some ailerons and watching what happens with the nose. Now ideally we want the nose to track straight, but it's not going to. So if I add left, we see the nose shoot left. If I add right aileron, we see the nose shoot right. And we can do this all day long. And this is a demonstration of the adverse yaw. Once someone has seen that, we can address how to correct that using rudder. So we can use coordinated rudder. And so long as I don't add too much time or too much back pressure here, we're not really going to change heading. And I've got a spot on the window right now that is tracking perfectly straight. Everything's spinning around it, but I have my point that's not moving. So it's important to address what that point is, and if that point moves side to side, that's yaw that is incorrected with rudder. The next thing I like to do is talk about when do we need rudder. And the answer to this is whenever there's yaw. But when we look at turning an airplane, it is when the ailerons are deflected. So as we start to turn to the right, we're clear right, we can go right aileron, and I have to use right rudder. Now what happens here is when I get stabilized, I no longer need that right rudder. So as I roll right, I have to add right rudder to coordinate. And then once I'm established in the turn, we can look down at the aileron, and it's important to have someone look out the wing here and see those ailerons are neutral. So as I roll back out, left aileron, I need left rudder to coordinate, and that's what it takes to stay coordinated. So if we were to turn without rudder, we see the nose swing up, we come around, and as I roll back out, we'll see the nose swing left. So that's a no rudder turn, and that's uncoordinated. That's what we're trying to avoid. So the next thing I introduce is a yaw that comes from power. So again, feet flat on the floor, we're going to go power to idle, and watch the nose swing. It swings out to the right. Now as I add power, we're going to see that nose swing to the left, and that is our torque effect. P-factor, all those left turning tendencies, we can play with this. So as we bring the power back out, the yaw swings the nose to the right. As we add power in, we see the yaw swing the nose to the left. So next thing we do is we work on correcting that. So we bring the power out, and we use whatever rudder it takes, which is going to be left rudder. As we add power, think about driving your car. You want to go faster, you need to push on that right rudder. That's the same thing we're teaching on an airplane. When the power comes in, the right rudder needs to come in as well. So the next really valuable skill I think every pilot needs to know is the link between rudder and aileron, or more appropriately from roll and yaw. So anytime we have a yaw, we're going to have a corresponding roll and vice versa. So we've demonstrated that with our adverse yaw, where we see when we roll, there will be a yaw component. And we can see that with our adverse yaw. At the same time, if we add a yaw, there will be a corresponding roll. So we can do this hands off, and all we're going to do is we're going to add right rudder in this case. There's a right yaw, and watch that right roll. So anytime there's a yaw, there will be a roll component. And this is true from a rudder-induced yaw, or from a power-induced yaw, or really any type of yaw. It doesn't matter where it comes from. If we go back to level flight here, feet flat on the floor, and then back to power out, and we see a little bit of right yaw, followed by a right roll. And so as we add power, we'll see a left yaw. There's our left yaw, and I'm not going to touch any controls here. And we're starting to see a little bit of a left roll. It's a little bit slow to induce, but if we let it go, we'll start to see that that left yaw did in fact give us a left roll. Now if I were to correct this, feet flat on the floor with ailerons, we'll see even more left yaw. So from here, when we get into stalls, the way I like to teach stalls is fairly simple. My main focus here is law of primacy. We want to build that law of primacy that a stall horn means a stall recovery. That doesn't mean we're not going to go beyond that. It means the initial point we want to teach is the stall horn means stall recovery. So this is all we do. We pull back, listen for the stall horn. There it is, and we lower the nose. No power changes, no nothing. Pull back, stall horn on. Turn the stall horn on. And we turn the stall horn off. And every time we hear the stall horn, we push the stick forward. Now this is all happening at more or less the same airspeed, which is important to address. So early on, from flight lesson maybe 3 or 4, whenever we're introducing this, maybe it's 5 or 6 depending on your syllabus, I don't like to just show that low speed stall. I like to then say, okay, we can go into a 45-degree bank turn. You've already seen steep turns, hopefully, at this point. And we can roll the power off and pull it into a stall here. And we hear the stall horn at a higher speed. And same thing. We just push. Then the next thing I like to do is show it doesn't have anything to do with banks. We can pull back aggressively. And we hear that same stall horn at the same speed. So I'm turning the stall horn on and off at various airspeeds. The next one I would like to do here is an opportunity to see someone, or allow someone to see a reduced speed. So all I do is ease over the top just a little bit, pull back, pull back, pull back. There we go. Now we have the stall horn 10 knots below where we were getting it. So we do this little parabolic arc, and at the top, we just kind of float over the top a little bit, maybe about a half a G, let the speed bleed off, and we pull it into the stall warning indication from that point. So they can see that it's not just stall speed, it can be before or it can be after, or slower or faster than our published stall speed. So we're really trying to enforce that a stall can happen at any airspeed. The next thing I like to do is come out here and we take that the next step further. We go from the stall horn to the stall buffet, and then we recover aerodynamically. And we pull back into the stall, there's a buffet, we recover aerodynamically. No power, this is an aerodynamic recovery. And we can do this at all different attitudes. The thing we're working on here is we lower the nose, we reduce the angle of attack, and we allow that to recover the airplane. So we pull it into a stall, buffet, lower the angle of attack. So once someone is comfortable with that and you're comfortable with their abilities, we start to do the same thing, but now we add in a little bit of a bank. So we add in a little bit of bank, and this happens at slightly higher airspeed. And we can allow the stalls to happen at a little bit steeper of a bank. So we're just showing that stalls can happen at any airspeed, and that the recovery is always push the stick forward. So once we get that, now we got someone who's really comfortable with the stall and the stall recovery process, and we take it into a full brake. So instead of recovering at the buffet, we pull back and we recover at the full brake. Once we're comfortable there, then we start doing the same thing, but now we're adding in a little bit of power, and we're allowing them to use a visual reference. I hope the camera can pick it up here. I have the moon straight ahead of me. So all I'm going to do is try and manipulate the power so I can keep that inside here. There we go. So with power in, we use rudder to maintain our coordination. So this is a coordination exercise, as well as a stall exercise. And so long as they can maintain their coordination through normal flights, we really don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to maintain their coordination through stall flight, or at least through that pitch up. This is especially easy when you got clouds. I like to have someone put the nose on a cloud, and if they see the nose walk side to side in relation to the clouds, we know that's a problem that needs to be corrected with rudder. So that's my really brief overview, kind of from an instructor standpoint, of how I like to introduce basic airmanship, especially with the rudder. This works in any airplane you're flying. It doesn't really matter. Some are more pronounced with their left turn tendencies, or their adverse yaw than others. But it is applicable to 99.9% of the training airplanes out there. And it's how I like to introduce my stall. It's a nice slow process of building that law of primacy first, that stall horn means stall recovery. That's the foundation of how I like to begin it. I hope you can take that and find something useful out of it.